Okay, so we're going to be talking about video secrets for LinkedIn today. So that's what we're going to talk about. So I'm just going to move forward. Okay, so I already told you about me. Just want to let you know I am on LinkedIn, all in on LinkedIn. And also too, everything I do is easy peasy. So that's sort of the focus. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is sort of what I like to call the elephant in the room, which is about LinkedIn in general. Because the question is sort of the question, are you LinkedIn or not LinkedIn? Because if you think about it, here I am talking about LinkedIn, video secrets for LinkedIn. But if you're not into LinkedIn, it might not apply. I'm going to tell you two things. Number one, maybe by this end of this presentation, if you're not already into LinkedIn, you might want to reconsider. And number two, some of the things I'm talking about, while they are for LinkedIn, you could be using them on other social media platforms. So regardless of what you hear today, hopefully you're going to glean some information about LinkedIn and also why video is so important to social media in general, even though I am focusing on LinkedIn, but it all still applies. So let's talk about why even be on LinkedIn. So let's move forward. Okay. Why not Facebook? That's always the thing. And I love this little thing. It's like, what? Isn't that for like old people? What's with Facebook? LinkedIn, I'm hoping I can maybe get you to rethink this. Okay. So first of all, what do I think about Facebook? Do I hate Facebook? No, I don't hate Facebook. I use Facebook, but I use Facebook primarily for friends and family. I just got back from living in Israel. If I didn't have Facebook, I wouldn't have been able to keep telling everybody, we're safe, everything's okay, here's what we're eating, here's the beach. So I love Facebook, but I have found that it was not good for business. A couple of years ago, when we first started Launch for Life, we loved Facebook. We had a Facebook page and we were doing really, really well with Facebook. But what we found was the organic growth, and I'm sure you've all experienced this, the organic growth on Facebook pages went down like this little grid. It just was so sad. And what we found was with Facebook, if you're a business owner, you have to pay to play. The only thing that I will say is still good about Facebook is the groups. So Facebook groups, I'm all for, but running a Facebook business page and getting people to know, like, and trust you, it didn't work for us. So we jumped ship, went over to LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is the world's largest professional networking platform. It is a virtual social media strictly for business. So right now, LinkedIn's in 200 countries, has 740 million monthly users. So that's a huge amount of people. And they say 2 new people join every second. And kind of going back to that image of like, isn't LinkedIn for old people? Actually, LinkedIn is for young people. And the biggest demographic right now is the millennials and the 30-year-olds. These are the folks that are saying, hey, I want to be where people have money, and LinkedIn is where you have people with money. So it's amazing. Now, LinkedIn did a shift in how they are as a social media platform when Microsoft bought them. So if you did sort of a LinkedIn page, 10 years ago, go back and have another look because LinkedIn has changed. So question is, okay, LinkedIn's popular, LinkedIn's good, but is it good for your business? Is it good? It's always what's in it for me. Is it good for my business? So I'm going to tell you, LinkedIn is, of course, good for job hunters. It's the ultimate place if you're looking for a job. It's also good for B2B. So, anybody who's marketing their businesses to other businesses, that's also great. It's also good for B2C. And people go, what? If I'm a hairstylist or a shoemaker, or I give tours or this and that. Yes, everybody is finding success on LinkedIn, even B2C. And so what I like to say is, I think LinkedIn, we should call it P2P, which is person to person, because that's really what LinkedIn is about. It's about networking. So it's about talking and meeting with other people. So whether you're a job hunter, B2B, B2C, you got that person to person element. So it's really important. And I have to tell you, LinkedIn is it's putting the social back in social media. It is a very social platform. And I like to call it the world's best business place for conversational marketing. This is not Instagram. You don't throw up a post, shout, buy my stuff, or look at me, I'm an influencer. LinkedIn is truly about, think of it as the world's biggest cocktail party or a networking event. That's what it's like. So in order to succeed on LinkedIn, even if you've tried it before and you went, I threw up a few posts, nothing ever happened for me, it didn't do any good, probably because you're not having conversations. You're just shouting at people. You're just throwing posts out, blog posts and this and that, but you're never really getting to know people on LinkedIn. And that is the true secret. So unless you're not really connected with people until you've had a conversation. And this was an example of a post where all I did was just talk about supporting small businesses in Haifa. And it's like 696 views. I had 22 comments. I never had that kind of engagement on Facebook. So that's why I'm all in on LinkedIn. So where do you have conversations? What does that even mean? So you have conversations in the comments. That's the biggest. It's not just about your post, it's about reading other people's posts, the posts of your target market, the posts of colleagues, the posts of people that you find interesting and you want to follow on LinkedIn. You start to have conversations in the comments, meaning you post an intelligent comment that's more than good post. I agree. That's not a conversation starter. You have to say, wow, I never really thought about that. How do you do da da da? You kind of put a question or you add your 2 cents because other people are seeing it. And I've often commented on somebody's post and then somebody else comments on my comment and then another comment. And the next thing I know, I got people that are trying to connect with me. So that is a wonderful place to meet people, in the comments. The next thing is through your direct messages. So when I connect with somebody, I actually send them a message and I say, thanks for connecting with me. And I read their profile and I'll say, it's amazing. You're from Toronto. I used to live in Toronto. And now we've got a conversation going. So that's how I do connections in the direct messages. And you can do them with a text. You can do them with voice notes, grab your phone. You can do a little recording and send them a recording. People love that. That's just awesome. And now you can do videos. So you can send people a video. And I do that often when I connect with people, but only if they send me a video, because I don't ever want to kind of come across as spammy or anything like that. You can do what I call linking out. And so that's when you start meeting people and then you decide, hey, maybe we should have a Zoom call. And so, it's kind of a virtual cup of coffee, so to speak. And I have met people all over the world this past year. And I set a goal to meet one new person a week on a Zoom session. And I can't believe the number of people I know all over the world now. Quite fabulous. And then the latest craze, if you haven't already heard of it, is the Clubhouse thing. And the Clubhouse thing is really interesting because I'll meet people in a Clubhouse room that maybe were facilitators, just not some guy sitting in the audience, but maybe a facilitator that was talking in a Clubhouse room. And I'll connect with them. I'll find them. I'll follow them on Clubhouse. Then I go back to LinkedIn. I connect with them and I say, I really enjoyed what you were saying in Clubhouse today at so-and-so's, event. And then again, that starts a new connection and a conversation going. So, all right. So LinkedIn, if you decide, you know what, okay, maybe I'll go back and have a little look at LinkedIn. Here's how you get started. So the first thing is, don't post too soon. This is what everybody gets wrong. They jump on LinkedIn and they start posting and they go, nobody engages with me. Well, probably because you don't have an engaged network. You can have a huge network that's not engaged. So what you have to do is you have to learn the lay of the land. LinkedIn is not Facebook. It's not Instagram. It's not Pinterest. It's totally different. So you have to take some time, follow some of the LinkedIn leaders. They give you some guidelines. I've got videos on how to, kind of get up to speed with LinkedIn. Just don't post too quick. That's so important. So basically I tell people there's a bit of a journey you go through with LinkedIn. First, you become a consumer, which means consuming other people's posts, learning what works, what doesn't work, what are people talking about, what do people want to know, what content do I like? Grow your network. That's really important. Then start to become a commenter. Get in the comments and start having those conversations with people, and then move up to creator. So it's a little bit of a journey that you go through. Okay. So video is one of the journeys that you can take on LinkedIn. I have had a lot of success with video. So let's talk about why you even want to do video in the first place. So first of all, video is so important for brand awareness. And if you're to follow anybody on LinkedIn, follow this woman, Shay Rowbottom. She started on Facebook. She jumped over to LinkedIn, made an amazing, like she has 871,000 followers. She's Gob's millionaire, all video. She does, and she's just like so into video, and that's her thing. Video. So she's a good one to follow. I kind of think she's kind of gone too far. She's now become so much of a celebrity, you can't even relate to her. But she's making gobs of money, and she did it all through video. So it's like, if she can do it, we can do it. Just one of those things. And video is important because video allows people to get to know, like, and trust you. If people are scrolling through the newsfeed and they see you, they're like, oh, I remember her. And what has she got to say now? It's instant recognition, whereas other posts, maybe they don't necessarily know it's always you talking. So I think it's just a really important part of that brand awareness, getting people to know, like, and trust you, because we're us on video. You don't have to be, stage makeup and a crew and this and that. It's just you being you. And that's when people would say, maybe we got to compare. Do I want to work with this person or this person? This person's an unknown. They're a blank head. But this one, I've seen her video. I like the way she talks. She's kind of funny. They get a sense of who you are, so that when it comes to the consideration time, you're more likely to get, picked if they get to know, like, and trust you. Also, too, video, it stops the scroll. You're scrolling through the news feed, you see a video. Videos on LinkedIn are on autoplay, which means that as soon as you get to them, they're moving. So you're like, oh, shiny object, eye candy, let me stop. What's this about? So again, stops the scroll. And then we're living in this crazy COVID world, and you just have to say, it's going to be a long time before we're out networking and social events. To be honest with you, as an introvert, I'd rather network through video anyways, because I can control a video. I can edit a video. I can think about, what do I want to say, craft it, post it, make a nice post. If I'm in person, I have to think on the spot, and I might screw it up and get their name wrong and get my name wrong. I don't know. It's more controlled. So I think video is so important now, because it's the one thing that might kind of stand you out from the crowd. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So, okay. But here is the kicker. You don't just do video. I tell people, video is great. I love video, but you can't do just video. You on LinkedIn, and if you're a writer, you're going to love LinkedIn, because text posts are one of the highest posts that have the most engagements. Is a pure text post with no graphic. Makes no sense to me, but people seem to love text posts on LinkedIn. Maybe they're smarter. I don't know. It's just weird. But, vary up your content. So you want to do video, but you also want to do text only posts. So here's an example right on my screen. A text only post. It got 2,000 views. It got 62 comments. That's a lot of engagement from just something. When I was just talking about in Israel on a Sunday, it's the beginning of the workday, which was so weird for me, being an American moving to Israel. And it was like Sunday, I'm supposed to be in my slippers, you're drinking coffee, reading the New York Times or something. Not that I ever read the New York Times, but, so all of a sudden I'm in Israel. Sunday is the first day of the work week, but I had to kind of get in the flow, which was that whole bit about when in Rome, do as the Romans. It got a ton of engagement, text only post. Then the next one is documents. I like to call them sliders, but they're kind of like a PowerPoint like this, just a PDF. These do amazingly well on LinkedIn. I got 7,000 views from a post that was just about Canva. It wasn't even about video. It was just about using Canva. But again, it's not just about the views. Look at the comments, 166 comments. And you think about that. Every time somebody commented on my post, not only did that person see my post, but everybody in their network saw that post. So can you begin to see how you are getting in front of a huge audience on LinkedIn? This did not happen to me on Facebook. I'd be like 5 comments. I'd be like happy dance. It's just like, this is amazing. This is amazing. Photos and graphics do well. LinkedIn articles do well, which is your blog post. If you blog, don't take your blog from your website and put it on LinkedIn, because nobody's ever going to read it, because they don't want to click on your blog and leave LinkedIn. You're better off taking your blog post and repurposing it using a LinkedIn article. Change the title a little bit just so the Google gods will index that post, because LinkedIn articles are indexed in Google search so people can find you. So if you have an article that's maybe secrets of video LinkedIn, and that's on my websites, maybe on LinkedIn, I take the exact same article. There's no penalty for SEO, repurposes it as an article on LinkedIn, but change the title. Sharing the secrets of LinkedIn video. I just nudge it up a little bit. They'll both show up in the Google search, and I'm not competing against myself. So it's kind of cool, kind of cool. So highly recommend LinkedIn articles. And then of course, highly recommend video, because it just does really well. So let's talk about how to use video. So first of all, I tell people, don't do more than 1 video a week. And if you're new, do 1 a month. Like, you don't want to be doing video every day. People get exhausted. So people who kind of say, day 79 of video, nobody wants to watch day 79 of your videos. They don't. You want to make them purposeful. So just aim for 1 a week. That's perfectly fine. You want them to be short, so 2 minutes or less. If you've got a lot to say and you record a 10-minute video, break it into 5 2-minute videos, and then you've got content for the next 5 weeks. So that's kind of a cool thing to do. Make them short, 2 minutes or less. I kind of fudge and sometimes go 3 minutes, but definitely never longer than 5 minutes. You just really want to keep them short, because people are, tell me now, and then I'm moving on. You can post on any day. LinkedIn does well during the week and the weekends, so it does really, really well. Amazingly, it does well on the weekends, and I think it's because people are kind of in a more relaxed framework, so they're more likely to consume content. I find personally Monday a very busy day on LinkedIn. It seems like everybody's been working all weekend, so I never post Monday morning because it just feels like you're competing with so many. But other than that, every day is good. In terms of when to post for your avatar. That's your ideal client. So right now, I have connections all over the world. I'm on Pacific time. I have to figure out, am I more likely to have my avatar being in the UK or my avatar in the United States? And then I would post accordingly to the best time zone for my target market. And I'm actually compromising and finding a time when the UK people will engage and the Americans at the same time. So you just have to kind of say, what's best for my people in terms of, don't post in the middle of the night, nobody's going to see it. So that's really what it's about. And then this is the most important thing. Don't post and ghost, which means don't put up a post and then say, okay, I'm done. You have to coddle it. You have to nurture that post. And with a video, you really should be prepared to sit around for an hour on LinkedIn. You can just have your notifications going. You don't have to just sit there looking at your post, but you want to go kind of stay close so that if somebody comments, that you go back and comment on the comment and you say, thanks for sharing that. Or, what do you do about blah, 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 blah. You want that conversation going, because every time somebody comments, it bounces your post back up to the top of the newsfeed, and LinkedIn shares it more and shares it more and shares it more. So if you just post and nobody ever comments, or you don't respond to those comments, LinkedIn goes, I guess it's and that's it. They move along. So that's really, really important. Okay, so what kind of content do we even do videos about? So the first thing I tell people is, introduce yourself. If you were going to a cocktail party or a networking event, you'd stand up and do your elevator pitch, right? You want to do the same thing on a video, because it's not always clear what you do. It's like, oh, what is that thing? It's like you do some sort of hair thing, you know, and it's like, no, I'm a stylist. I do this, I do this. It's like, you have to be very clear. Don't make it salesy. It's just information. You just want to say, hi, I do this. I help these kind of people. This is what I kind of do. And then maybe throw something fun in there. So for me, I always tell people I'm a Google goddess because I know a lot about Google. And people go, oh, that's kind of fun. What's a Google goddess? What does that mean? And it starts the conversation. So you want to be a human. You want to be a human. So introduce yourself. First video you should do for LinkedIn. Then how-to videos. Because you want valuable stuff. It's not just buy my course, buy my online program, buy my book, buy my this. It's like people, they don't want to be sold to. So what you have to do is solve their problems. So for instance, with me, I post a lot about how to do videos because I'm a video coach. So I teach you about being scared on video. I teach you about the tech on video. I teach you about ideas and how to talk on video. Those are the things I talk about. So think about, what would my customers ask me? What are the questions my customers ask me? And make a video for those. People love behind the scenes videos. So, you know, say for instance, if you are a dress designer, take people inside and show them, here's how I cut my material. Here's how I design everything. Here's how I'm doing it on the mannequin. People love that because then they can step into your world and see what you do. And it's not salesy. It's just informative. So those are great as well. Case studies. Talk about your customers. How did you solve their problem? Talk about, okay, Clara came to see me and she wanted to learn how to sew. And I don't know why I'm talking about sewing people today, but probably because I'm looking at your quilt. So she wanted to learn how to quilt. I helped her. We designed a family quilt, and this was her end product. She was so happy, and she gave it to her grandfather at the great party, and yada, yada, yada. People love that stuff. So case studies about how you took your customer from A to Z and everything in between. Even a testimonial from your customer. You know, it's like, oh, I had to share this little clip that so-and-so gave me about, you know, why they were, you know, happy with my product or my service or whatever. Testimonials do really well. So those are good things. Personal stories. Telling a personal story about, you know, I just left Israel and it was like crazy because I had to get on the plane and they were closing the airport. That's a personal story. It has nothing to do with my business, but people get to know me and it's like, well, that's really interesting. You're in Israel and you got a dog. And, you know, I met a guy yesterday on LinkedIn because he had a dachshund and I had a dachshund, and we started talking because we have dachshunds. You can post about anything. So yes, you can even post about dogs on LinkedIn. It's quite amazing. So personal stories tell. It's really nice if your personal stories have a point. So I always tell people, tell a story, make a point. So the reason why I'm telling you this story about the crab is because blah, 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 blah. And they absolutely love it. And they'll remember the story and they'll probably tell people the story. Where'd you hear that? Oh, this woman on LinkedIn and da, 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 da. I got to find this woman. I love that story. And the next thing you know, you're networking. So let's talk about the tech, because that's always like, people are like, oh, I got to go spend thousands of dollars and get a whole studio and yada, yada, yada. No, you don't. Start with what you've got. Got a cell phone? You got an awesome camera. You got a computer, you got an awesome camera. You want to have decent light. I am here today with no lights. I don't have ring lights. I don't have anything. I have the window open and I have the light on in the room. That's it. I don't have anything fancy. The thing that I will always tell people is never, ever, ever sit with your back to the window because you look like you're in the witness protection program. You get all dark and you might as well have some sort of weird thing that makes your voice wonky because you're just going to look odd. So point your computer to the window so that the light's coming in at you. That's all you need to do. So just some decent light. House lights is good. Microphone, I'm using earbuds. That's good enough. And I'm going to tell you, it's optional on LinkedIn because 85% of the people aren't even listening to you anyways. We're going to get to why that is in a minute. So just know that even if you don't have a microphone, you can still do video. It's nice if you do have a mic, but if you don't have one, it's not a problem. If you have a phone and you're going to make videos, get a tripod or a selfie stick, or good Lord, just take a bunch of books and, set your phone up. That's really, really important. So a tripod, only because nobody wants shaky cam. The only videos I don't watch is when people are walking down the street and I'm getting nauseous as their arms are shaking as they're walking. So that's the only thing. Try to stabilize if you're using a cell phone. So here's some tools. I only have an iPhone, so I'm not a good Android person. I know there's Android tips out there, so I'm sorry, but I'm coming from a position of an iPhone because that's what I know best. Right now, I'd have to tell you, my favorite iPhone app right now is Clipchamp. I love it. It's brand new. I just started using it. Right now, it's free. It's in beta, so it's completely free. You can record on it, which I don't do because it makes vertical videos, but you can make a recording on your iPhone and then you can bring it into Clipchamp and you can edit it. So you can trim the beginning. So sometimes your hand is going and you're turning on the camera and this and this and this. You can trim that stuff out using Clipchamp. It's got a little editor, but here's the kicker. It's got automated transcriptions. And so it will subtitle your video for you. You can get an SRT file. We'll talk about those another day. You can basically get your captions burned into your video and have what's called open captions. And then you can just upload it anywhere you want, to LinkedIn, to Facebook, whatever. And it's completely free. And those transcriptions can be edited so that if they never get my name right. They spell Jillian with a J instead of a G. And I can edit it, I can fix it, but I'm telling you that their AI is top notch. They even know how to spell LinkedIn right. And that's kind of one of those things I always look for. A lot of transcription companies don't do that. Clipchamp, get that app. It's awesome. It's free. Clips, Apple Clips. It's free, comes with an iPhone. You can use that and it's good. You can do a little bit of editing, put some videos together, and it does transcriptions as well. I find their transcriptions can be a little bit wonky, but so they're they get an 80% in my book. Loom, I like to use for recording. You can use Loom to do a screen share. So if you wanted to do screen shares on your phone, or if you want to do just yourself, it's a great tool as well for just recording a straight video, or just use the video recorder that comes with your iPhone. So those are good. If you do have an Android and you're hating me with all these iPhone tools, know that there's a thing called AutoCap. It's available from the Google Play Store. I've never used it, but I've heard it's a pretty good transcription program for the Android. And I just want to let you know, on my YouTube channel, I have an awesome tutorial on how to use Clipchamp, how to use Clips, and how to use Loom. So if you want to know how to use these programs, just go to my YouTube channel and I'll tell you where that is later. So if you're nah, I don't want to use my phone, I want to use my computer, we've got tools too. Loom is my #1 favorite. Again, it's free. Go on Loom. You can make a webcam video like this. You can make a screen share and see your whole screen, and then you're the narrator in the background. So if you're kind of nervous about being on camera, that's a great way to start. Just be the narrator that nobody ever sees. And then once you're comfortable, you can do a combination of screen sharing and webcam, but you're like a little circle bubble. And you can move that anywhere on the screen and you can just kind of be chatting along with it. Something I highly recommend to if you're doing sort of like a PowerPoint and you just want to be the little circle and you're just chatting and talking, it just helps to engage people a little bit. So I love Loom. Other good programs, Capwing has a free program. Vidio has a free program. You do get a watermark, so that's the only sort of downside. Subly is what I use for captions. I love Subly, and again, they have a free program with a little watermark. The thing I like about Capwing and Vidio is that they're all-in-one editors, so you can actually upload your video, and it works in a browser, so you don't even have to download anything. You can upload your video, you can edit your video, you can caption your video, you can add graphics to your video, and then you can download it. It's all in one. And I'm telling you, it doesn't get easier than that when you have these all-in-one programs. So those two programs, big thumbs up. What are common mistakes? Because I'm seeing them all the time. So the biggest mistake people make is not uploading native video. That's what LinkedIn likes. They take their YouTubes and they paste in the link and they go, I'm doing video on LinkedIn. No, you're not. You're doing YouTubes on LinkedIn. And again, LinkedIn and its users don't want to leave LinkedIn. So they're not as likely to click an external link and go to YouTube and watch your YouTube. They're just not going to do it. So that's what I say about the blog posts, the same thing. So you want native uploads, something that you're actually uploading to LinkedIn and will live on LinkedIn. So that's what you aim for. The number one mistake too is no captions. This woman here is a great example. She made an awesome video, put it in a nice color. She put a little heading at the bottom. It's National Apprentice Week, no captions. And 85% of the people are not going to, they're going to watch the video with no sound. So you're scrolling through the newsfeed. I don't know what you're talking about. And I just see you go on. It's a silent movie. So you got to have those captions. And also too, it's just the right thing to do if you want to be inclusive. We're all about diversity and inclusion. You don't know how many people I have met who are deaf. And if they don't have captions, they don't know what you're doing. So do you really want to be that person that says, oh, I don't care about deaf people? No, we never want to be like that. So captions are a must if you're doing social. And take that back to Facebook as well, because they're not watching your videos if you don't have captions on Facebook either. Vertical videos, that's the only problem I didn't like about Clipchamp is the vertical videos. They look great on a phone, but when you upload them to LinkedIn, yes, the phone users see them okay, but if I'm on a computer and I see them, I see weird bars, these weird sort of like blurry bars at the side and this skinny little video. So turn your phone. This is all you have to do, folks. Go from this to this, and that makes a good video. So no with the vertical videos. Too many hashtags. People make a video and then they put a post to go with the video and they got like 20 hashtags. It's just like, this is LinkedIn. It's professional. You aim for 3 to 6 hashtags and that's it. You do a gazillion hashtags on Instagram because that's the way Instagram works. That doesn't work on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn kind of sees it as spam and it will or hurt you in the organic newsfeed. They'll suppress your post. So they won't kick it out, but you don't get as much love. And people also go, looks kind of spammy, like you don't really know what your video is about if you got 20 hashtags, that sort of thing. So just narrow it down. I do between 3 to 6 is what I do. And then the hugest mistake is not engaging with comments. So if you go to the trouble of making a video, you upload it and a bunch of people comment and you ignore those people, they're just like, oh, okay, well, guess I won't be commenting on her post again. You have to keep the conversation going. You have to say, thank you for telling me that, or thanks for sharing that. You know, you want to do it for you, but you also want to do it so that people go, oh, you know, she talks, she cares. She's not just an influencer sending out her stuff. So that's very, very important. So I thought if we had a couple minutes, I could just tell you a couple of people, and feel free to go and look at these people on LinkedIn yourself. But this was 3 different people who are solopreneurs that are kicking it on LinkedIn, doing really, really well. The first woman is Sin Linden. And actually, I don't even know if we have time. Maybe we can go to Sins just real quick. But
you've got about 8 minutes, Jillian.
Okay. So Sin is a storyteller. And she does, actually, I'm just going to walk you through. I think you should just go, and I'll give you the links, and everybody can go and have a look at these, because all three women are very different, but I'll tell you who they all are. So Sin is from Sweden. She is somebody I got to know by linking out, just chatting with her. And then we had a Zoom session, and she was great. She is a storyteller. And her job is as a writer and a storyteller to help people tell their business story. She does videos, and she does great videos, but they're very just homegrown. Everybody here is homegrown videos. Nobody is doing Hollywood productions. She has a caption. She makes her videos our story, because that's her brand. Her brand is about storytelling. So of course she's going to have videos that incorporate storytelling. So again, she is a really good one to follow and pay attention. And that's the nice thing about LinkedIn. You can just follow somebody and see their posts in the newsfeed. You don't even have to connect with them. Once you get to know them, you might decide you want to connect with him. So go have a look at Sin's posts, and you'll see some really, really nicely crafted stories. And in this video, she's actually talking to her other self. So she shows up talking to herself, who's the reluctant such and such person. So very, very cute. Ella Orr is the next one, and she is from the UK, and she is a social media content creator. So her clients are people that want to have social media but don't know how. Her posts are very candid. She just turns on the camera and just chats. She just chats. So again, very homegrown. There's no fancy stuff going on. She's just chatting. And then Jennifer Brick, you'd especially like her, Sue. She is a Canadian living in New York. And she's in the process of studying for her citizenship exam. And she just actually did a post a couple of days ago about what it's like to be a Canadian living in the United States, and how people know your accent and what you miss. And very, very funny. This woman has now got, I think she's a career growth specialist. So she helps people with, their job searching. And that's what she's I guess a career coach. And she also has a YouTube channel with, I think, 7,000 followers, and she's got 7,000 followers on LinkedIn. And she just started herself by doing video. Hers are kind of like up a notch. She's, again, doing some fancy stuff, and hers are really good. But again, it's just her talking about things real, her personal stories. So all three women, solopreneurs, using video in different ways, simple, complex, and gives you a good feel for what women are doing in their businesses on LinkedIn. So I think I'll send you the links for them.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a wrap almost. Okay. So first of all, connect with me on LinkedIn. Connect with me. And I put this slide up because I don't know if you know about QR codes, but you can literally have your phone and just turn on the camera, and you can just put the camera up, and it brings in my LinkedIn page. It's pretty, I don't know if you can see that. It actually, so it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. It can do that. So if you're doing any presentations and you want people to connect with you on LinkedIn, stick up your LinkedIn code. And if you don't know how to do this, come to my LinkedIn Live in a bit, because I'm going to tell you how to do that. So it's kind of a cool thing. So connect with me on LinkedIn, and I encourage all of you to connect with me so that I can get to know you there. So it's a good place to be. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, or just check it out. You don't have to subscribe, but check it out. And just know that I have playlists that are video easy peasy. So it'll just teach you about video in general. I have a playlist that's LinkedIn easy peasy that talks about doing stuff specifically on LinkedIn. So I have several different playlists that you can go through. You can learn different techniques, and that's free training. So, I highly recommend checking out my YouTube channel. If you want to work with me, I do one-to-one video coaching. I also do done-for-you video content. So people sometimes just give me their raw footage and I put stuff together. I do book trailers. I do all sorts of stuff. And I do offer a 30-minute free consult. So if you kind of go, I don't really know what to do first, I'm not really sure how to even develop a strategy or where I should be, call me. I can do a free consult with you. We'll meet Zoom, 30 minutes, no obligation. And I give you some tips. If you want to work with me, great. If not, I'm forever your friend. So I'm sort of easy peasy to work with. And that is it.
That was wonderful, Jillian. We have 3 minutes. I'm just going to see if anybody has any questions. If you want to just, let's see. Okay, we have no questions. So I'm going to ask a quick question. First of all, thank you for calling me out as somebody who posts and ghosts every week. Because
I didn't name any names.
You didn't. I'm fessing up. I always post my blog as an article, and then I don't look at LinkedIn until the next week. So my bad, but I'm, you know what? We're all learning.
Are you posting it as a web link to your website or
copy
LinkedIn?
And paste. I actually create an article in LinkedIn. I copy and paste it and add stuff. So
and that at least is good, because at least you're making some foundational content that if people were checking out your profile, it's there. So that's good. That's good.
I did have a quick question, and I know we have to get off the phone. Okay, so you have 60 seconds to answer this. When you were talking about your profile and your responses to certain posts, do you do anything to keep track of your engagement or your analytics or anything like that? Or is that just all in your head?
I actually keep it all in my head. You can go back and search through your posts so you can see your posts at any time. I always recommend people have a branded hashtag. So you should have a hashtag that's Solopreneur Academy, and you put that on every single post, so that if you ever wanted to go see them, all you have to do is type that in and we'll pull up every single post on LinkedIn, which is nice. A lot of people I know use something called Shield, and I can get your coupon for that. And Shield is, I think it's like 10 or 15 bucks a month, and you get all your analytics, and it's just amazing. So I think I can maybe get a free trial or something. So if you're interested in that, let me know.
Okay.
And also, by the way, I can give everybody a promo code for Subly if you want Subly Pro for a month, which is the captioning tool. I'm a brand ambassador, so I can give you a free code for a month.
Okay. Awesome. That was amazing, Jillian. Thank you so much. I really feel like you did a great job explaining why we need LinkedIn. And also, you're just such a great example. You spoke about it a little bit, but yeah, you were living in Israel. You're this introvert who was living in a place where you didn't speak the language. And I was just so impressed, because every week when I talked to you, you'd had another Zoom coffee break with somebody you didn't know. And now a year later, you literally have friends all over the world. It's amazing.
And I have to admit, it was hard. Every time I go to meet with somebody, I was just like, I'd be sick to my stomach, but I just kept saying to myself, I have to get through this pandemic. I have to continue to be, talking to people so that when I get a gig, I can be on and not go, oh my God, I don't remember how to use Zoom anymore. So I just had to keep pushing myself through. It never got easy. But the thing is, I now have friends. I have friends all over the world. So it was worth it. It was absolutely worth it. So I loved it. And by the way, and I'll add, I am in the process of writing a book on video for LinkedIn. So that I'm still writing it. So I don't know when that's even going out, but that's my next step.
And final point for me, as Jillian said, we've been friends a long time, and we've been friends when both of us started using video, and we've both gotten a lot better.
Yes.
A whole lot better. And the only way to get better on video is to actually show up, be on video. I'm a big proponent of editing your own videos, because then I think you see the things that you do wrong, the things. So yes, you get better. So just do it. And thank you, Jillian, so much for being with us today and for sharing your expertise on LinkedIn.
Thanks. It was fun to be here.
Bye, everybody. Have a good one.